Welcome back. Norfolk Southern CEO Alan Shaw is set to testify in Capitol Hill this week. His company, of course, involved in last month's toxic train disaster in East Palestine, Ohio, and this weekend's derailment in Springfield, Ohio. National Transportation Safety Board investigators are headed to the site of that crash, which left more than 1,500 residents without power. It also required those living nearby to shelter in place.
Now, the shelter-in-place order has been lifted, and it was because officials did determine that this derailment, the second one here, this is Springfield, posed no threat to the public. No hazardous materials were found on board 28 cars that went off the rails. That's very fortunate for the folks there. They say they've conducted multiple tests of the air, soil, and water, but again, a second derailment in Ohio definitely rattling the nerves of many people in that state.
Let's welcome in now resident of East Palestine, Ohio, Nicole Bentel. Nicole, great to have you with us.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
Well, we're doing okay. How are you doing? That's the real question. How are you and your family and friends doing?
Taking it day by day. It's been a lot going on. We've been sick in our house, and I know a lot of our friends have been as well.
Now, you've been staying in a hotel, you did stay in a hotel for a week after the crash on February 3rd. Our producers tell us that you've been drinking bottled water ever since. You're still using bottled water for cooking and showering. Tell us your thoughts on the response, not just from the federal government as well, but from Norfolk Southern and the CEO. I know there was a town hall meeting where the CEO did not show up again. Do you guys feel like you're getting the help you need and the response you need from Norfolk Southern?
I don't. I feel like they're very delayed with any kind of help they give. And it's only after the residents of this town and the surrounding areas push and don't give them a choice. I don't think they're offering it up on their own, but they realize that the people here aren't backing down, and they're slowly starting to help a little, but maybe a little too late.
And you say slowly. We're now more than a month into this tragedy that unfolded right there in your backyard, Nicole. I want to play a little bit of what President Biden said when he was asked if he would ever or go to East Palestine.
I've spoken with every official in Ohio, Democrat and Republican, on a continuing basis, as in Pennsylvania. I've laid out a little bit in there what I think the answers are and put it together, and we will be here an awful lot until the legislation is, and I will be able to.
If you couldn't hear it, he said at some point. But the bottom line is you make priorities, things that are important to you, you make it a priority. Would you have welcomed Biden then? And what are your thoughts if he shows up now, especially after Trump has been there, Buttigieg has been there?
Politics aside, it doesn't matter what side you're on. If you're the sitting president, I feel like something of this magnitude on your own soil should have been a priority. Absolutely. If he would have showed up when this first happened, I think that he would have received a better welcome than he probably will now.
And it feels like there's so much conflicting information. I think that's the main thing. You said you've been sick. Can you detail some of the things that you guys are experiencing so we can kind of, enlighten people on what you're suffering from?
I actually just picked my daughter up from school early today with sore throat, coughing. She's had sinus issues, nosebleeds. Myself has been the red rash on my face and scalp, tingling of my tongue going numb, nausea, vomiting, really bad sinus headaches. My fiance works right next to the tracks where they're working on a lot of the train cars still, and he's had a lot of the difficulty breathing, congestion, lethargic. And that's just my household. I've heard other people with varying symptoms, but a lot of these are similar to what my friends and neighbors are dealing with.
We're so sorry to hear that, Nicole. Our hearts really do go out to you folks. It's been a long time, and I think that, you do need some answers here.
Well, the EPA Administrator Michael Regan made his third visit to the derailment site late last week, and he was asked by a reporter if the creeks were safe for kids, and this is what he said.
For the time being, while the pollution is present, as a father, I would not advise anybody, adult or child, play in the creeks and streams. What we've said is the drinking water has been tested. If that drinking water has been tested and a green light has been given, then we feel confident in that. But while we're cleaning up this disaster site, I wouldn't advise that anyone play in water that's contaminated or soil that's contaminated.
One of the big concerns that we've been hearing about from people in East Palestine is that yes, they're testing the water, the drinking water, but the water that's in the creeks, and that's also maybe now seeping into the water table, that will eventually find its way into the drinking water system, and that won't be safe. Are you feeling reassured at all by the EPA Administrator Michael Regan's assessment of things?
We want to be, and we want to believe what they're saying, but there's been so many professionals and specialists that are not involved in this, and they are independent testing that are giving conflicting reports. So it's kind of playing a game of ping pong. You're just back and forth. You don't know who to believe.
Yeah.
But you want to err on the side of caution because it's your family, it's your children, this is your home.
It's understandable. You want to make sure your family's protected, and one of the ways you do that is making sure that the water that they're washing with, that they're drinking and showering with is in fact safe. We appreciate everything that you're going through, and thank you for being with us under these difficult circumstances, and stay in touch with us, and of course keep us posted if anything changes.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.